Started quite brightly, I guess, before the heat and humidity started to sap their energy and their creative expression. But 2 minutes in, Archie Thompson was the first to threaten, and from that point on there were a number of good opportunities for Australia. The first 15 to 20 minutes was quite free-flowing, and perhaps Singapore were a little bit starstruck, particularly playing against the likes of Harry Kewell. They'd all know him very well. The English Premier League is a huge product in that part of the world, and they'd know Harry almost intimately. So as we go through these highlights, Kim, on to you first. It did seem as though, with Singapore dropping so deep, Australia really needed to set up the play, and it has been a criticism of Australian teams in Asia that we haven't altered our rhythm too much. Has that been in evidence, as far as you're concerned, again in this first half?
Well, I think initially the idea of playing the ball out wide and creating space was working quite well. Clearly, Singapore have contracted in the middle and dropped numbers back, so that really only leaves out wide available. And I think as the half went on, Australia tended to be drawn into that, back into the middle, and were playing kind of narrow balls and rather too direct to really create the lateral space that they need.
Tony, on the left-hand side we have James Truisi, who's just fired off there with his right foot, but he does appear to be a naturally wide left-sided player. Not the case on Australia's right. James Holland, who we spoke about pre-game, is a very impressive young player, and Adam Griffiths, perhaps not with the attacking range to overlap and dribble down the right flank. So is there perhaps a case that Australia's formation is a little lopsided going forward?
I think so. Also, they're probably got that in the back of their mind that, you know, if I do go forward, that we get caught out and they can score and then they're at fault. James is a player who is, I think, better behind the front two, where he can make those runs, Tim McHale's style. And for Adam, it's a different shift that he's used to, and you know that's taking a lot of energy up and down that right wing, as a Brett Emerton would be.
You to have a look through this second half. It was a game really that did get bogged down, Tony, and I guess you can use that as the operative word, because the conditions did play into that. A very chopped up pitch, very wet, players demonstrably finding it difficult to break stride, which I guess we can put down to the humidity.
Yeah, definitely. All the players on the park there, they're all ball playing, and they probably didn't adapt to the conditions to it. They probably still wanted to play the nice, pretty football, but at times you can't do that. You have to change the way you play, be more direct, and maybe put numbers around and push the defence and midfielder on a bit. But saying that, it's probably from the players that are out there, a lot of them making their debut, so there's no real experienced player out there who could help them through that. And it's a learning experience for them. It's a game that they've organised, and hopefully it gives the players a benefit out of it. Okay, the result wasn't a win, but they've gone out there and give it their best shot.
Gaz, they lost a couple of training sessions because of the weather in preparation. Of course, it doesn't help, goes without saying, but how invasive might that have been for the players, given the number of debutants who took the field tonight and